Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a traditional style and organic preparation of wine. It is a 30-day preparation that you can do 1 month before your holidays or any festivals or function. It is a grape wine and I'm preparing with only a limited amount of ingredients and it's absolutely healthy and organic. Now let's check out the ingredients required. Here I'm taking 1 kg of grapes, 1.5 kg of sugar, 0.25 kg of wheat, cinnamon, yeast, then 2 eggs, then Grape. For brewing the wine, I am using an earthen vessel. The vessel that I am using is called Barani. You can use any type of earthen vessel. Here I made sure the vessel is so clean and I made sure that there is no moisture inside it, because if there is any moisture, it will spoil the wine. Here I am taking around 3.5 liters of filtered and purified water. First of all, let's prepare the egg. We need only the white part of the egg and we have to remove the yellow yolk part of the egg. So here I am breaking the egg and I am making sure that the yellow part doesn't get mixed up, and so I am carefully removing the yellow part and taking only the white part of the egg. Separating the white part of the egg from the yellow part is actually easy. When you break the egg, break only a small side on one side of the egg, and you can use a spoon to filter out the yellow part, and you can take only the white part of the egg. After taking the white part of the egg, here I am stirring it very well. Here I am just using a spoon, but if you have a blender, you can use the blender also. Here I took both of the eggs and made sure to stir it well and keep it aside. Now I am keeping the cinnamon and Grape in a mixer and grinding it very well. This part is very important. You have to make it as fine as possible. So I am adding to a mixer and grinding it very well. I have prepared the cinnamon Grape mixture powder and also the egg. Now I am keeping both aside, and now let's go to the main preparation. First of all, I am adding water to the earthen vessel. So let's add all the water, around 3.5 liters of water I am adding to it. Here I am using clean water, boiled and filtered water. You can also use mineral water that you will be getting in bottles in stores. You can also use that. Here I am using just tap water, but it is boiled and purified. You have to make sure that it is purified because we won't be purifying it later. Now let's add grapes to it. Here I am using normal grapes, the normal grapes that you will be getting on the market. You can also use wine grapes, which is a bit more expensive, but here I got normal grapes easily, so I am using normal grapes. You can also use other varieties of grapes too. Here I am using 1 kilogram of grapes because I am doing only a small volume of preparation, but if you want more volume, you can use more grapes. Before this preparation, I actually washed the grapes properly because this step is very important. You have to wash off all the chemicals and all the dust that is settled on the grapes. You have to thoroughly wash it with salt and normal water many times. I have washed it properly now, and now I am adding to it. It's always better to use ripe grapes, but don't take too much ripe grapes. You can take a moderately ripe grapes. Once I added the grapes to it, now I am adding the cinnamon Grape powder that we prepared earlier to it. Here I am taking only a little bit quantity of cinnamon and Grape, but you can add more quantity if you want more flavor to it. Now let's add sugar. Here I am taking around 1.5 kilogram of sugar, and it is completely up to your wish. If you want less sour and bit more sweet, then you can add more sugar. Here I am adding only 1.5 kilogram of sugar. Here I am using only a normal white sugar that you will be getting on the market. So let's add sugar to it. Here I am using just normal wheat, and I made sure to wash it properly to remove the sand and all the dirt in the wheat. You have to also do that to remove all the chemicals and all the sand from the wheat. Now let's add yeast to it. Here I am adding around 1 teaspoon of yeast to it. After adding yeast, let's pour the white part of the egg that we took earlier to it. Now let's do the final part, that is to mix it well. Actually, during this 30 days, we will be opening this lid and we will be mixing it many times. So after adding all the ingredients now, we have to mix it very thoroughly, because to make sure all the ingredients and the yeast get mixed very well. Otherwise it won't get brewed properly. So I'm mixing it very well, and we'll be repeating the process again and again after many days too. Here, after adding all the ingredients, I just realized that it is too much volume to be handled in one vessel, so I'm splitting in between two vessels because while during the brewing process it may just expand, or it may give off few gases, so it might just damage the vessel or start leaking it. So I'm splitting in between two vessels. After keeping in the vessel, now it is the final and the most important part, that is to close the lid and keep a cloth on top of it and tie it properly. While tying, make sure that only a very small air gap is there, just enough for the gases that is generated to escape. Other than that, it should not be spoiled by the air that is surrounding it. So tie the cloth on top of it, not too tight and not too loose. Now let's keep it aside undisturbed for 10 days. It's better to keep in one side of your room and leave it aside undisturbed for 10 days. After 10 days, now I'm opening the lid and now I'm mixing it very well with the wooden spoon, and now making sure that the brewing process is very good and it is proper. Mixing well after 10 days is very important because otherwise it may not get brewed properly, because sometimes it will get clogged in one place and it may not get brewed properly. So it is important for in every 10 days you have to keep mixing it. After stirring it thoroughly, let's keep the lid back on and tie the cloth in and keep it undisturbed for 10 days more in some part of the room. Make sure that it is a cool place, do not keep it in direct sunlight or something like that. So I'm keeping in one corner of the room and waiting for another 10 days. Now after 30 days, our wine is almost ready. Now let's go to the final step of the process, and that is to filter out all the ingredients out. So here I am using a clean cloth. It's better a clean white cloth, and I washed it and I dried it very properly, because there should not be any moisture, or don't use soap or anything to wash the clothes, because there will be some soap powder settled on the cloth and it will get mixed up with the wine. So it's better to wash it in pure water and dry it very well. Now let's slowly pour the wine and all the ingredients to that white cloth, and I'm keeping one big vessel to get the filtered out wine. So I'm slowly pouring it in and making sure that it is dripping down properly. Now I'm pouring the contents from both the earthen vessels through the filter to another vessel. So let's filter it out. After pouring everything, let's wait for the wine to get filtered through the cloth and let it drip down slowly. And once it is completely dripped down, we have to tie it very well and tighten it and squeeze it out. When you squeeze it out, you will get more juice from the grapes and all the ingredients. So you have to juice it out thoroughly. It's better not to use the hand directly, but if you don't have any method to squeeze it out, just you can clean your hands and twist it and squeeze everything out. To finalize the preparation, we need molten sugar, and that's what I'm preparing now. Here I'm taking around half a kilogram of sugar in a pan, and I'm keeping it at high flame, and I'll be waiting it until it melts. So make sure that to mix it properly so that it won't get burned in the bottom. Also, that is very important, and there is one more important thing. As soon as the sugar starts melting, it may overflow over the pan, or it may burst to your skin. So be careful with that. So as soon as it starts boiling, or when it gives you the sign that it is going to overflow, try to reduce the flame a little bit. In the meantime, I'm also taking around 1 bowl of wine that we prepared from the vessel and keeping it aside. That we'll be pouring it in the molten sugar later, so keep one bowl aside. After taking around only a small bowl of wine from the vessel and keeping it aside, I'll wait till the sugar melts completely. And again I'm saying, be careful with this molten sugar, because it will overflow and it may burn your skin severely. So proceed with caution. Even while I was preparing this molten sugar, it overflowed to my stove and created issues. So be careful with that. Molten sugar is very hot and it may cause severe burns. So while it starts boiling, be careful with that. Now I can see that the sugar that I took is molten completely. Now I won't wait further. I'll be pouring the bowl of wine that we took. Slowly do it, and please make sure that you are not pouring it all of a sudden completely. Otherwise, it will burst all over the place and it may burn your body. So pour it slowly and carefully. While pouring, make sure that the molten sugar won't spray into your hands or something, so be careful with that. While pouring the wine to the molten sugar, you will see lots of steam coming out of it, so don't burn yourself by the steam, and also keep stirring it well, otherwise it may burst to the surroundings. So keep stirring it and pour it as very slowly and patiently. After pouring the wine completely, wait for around 30-40 seconds under a low flame. Just keep stirring it well, and now the process is only to mix it well and wait for it to cool down. So after 30-40 seconds, I'll keep it aside, and maybe it will take around 10-20 minutes to completely cool down. You have to wait till that time, and please don't use it if it is not cooled down completely. After it is cooled down completely, then I will pour it back to the main vessel that is holding our wine. So now I'm pouring it back, and while pouring it to the wine, I'll keep stirring it well. So here it's important to stir it well so that it will be completely homogeneous, and the color of the wine is given by this molten sugar solution, and this molten sugar solution will give a bit sweet taste to the wine. And you can reduce this molten sugar if you want it to be more sour, and if you can add more if you want more brownish color and more sweetness to it. After pouring the molten sugar, that mixture back to the main vessel that is having our wine, then I'll stir it well. Please make sure to stir it well so that it will be completely homogeneous. So I'll stir it well for at least around 1 minute. I'll keep stirring it well. After stirring it well, I'll pour this wine back to the earthen vessel and keep it aside for 2 more days. This process is actually not important, you can directly use it. Here I'm just keeping it so that I'm waiting for it to get mixed well, and so I'm just keeping it for 2 more days. And after keeping it for 2 more days, you can, if you want, you can filter it once more, otherwise you can use it directly. You can filter it as many times as you want to remove the pulp of the grapes or something. So here I'm filtering only one time while adding back to the earthen vessel. So you can do the same while taking it after 2 days. Now after 2 days, now I'm showing you in a glass. Now you can see that the wine has almost developed a dark color to it, and this wine tastes almost like grape juice, and it doesn't have that much alcohol content in it, but it is having sufficient amount that you can use in small parties or birthday parties, or also for Christmas and New Year. Here I spent totally around 32 days to prepare this wine. This method of preparation is completely organic. Here I'm not adding any extra additive preservatives or anything, and it is completely healthy. So you can prepare it easily in your home for your functions or parties. I hope you like the recipe, and if you like the recipe, please consider giving us a like, and we'll be uploading more videos like this in the future. So if you want more videos, you can subscribe to our channel, and you can click that bell icon for notification.